Hello everyone and welcome back to KORR Monsters. This time we are in Detroit, Michigan for our first ever show here at Ford Field. Our lineup of trucks for this show features our 2003 Freestyle champion Mark Moody in Before It Breaks car parts. Then we have Ed Jenkins in Bold Hill. Our 2000 Freestyle champion Christian Holt in Busted Knuckles. Zach Preston in Cottonmouth. Harper Ray in Loud Pedal. Our 2003 racing champion Lonnie Hall in Rambunctious. Our 2004 racing champion Randall Boone in Rat Trap 3. Then we have our two-time freestyle champion Opal Baxter in Reckless Red. Following that we have Adam Bell in Sassy Child. Joe Montgomery in Snow Problem. Our reigning racing champion Kinsley Parks in Sunoco. And then rounding out our field we have Axel Weber in Warlord. And now for our racing bracket, we'll be starting off with Sunoco going up against Rat Trap 3. Before It Breaks car parts going up against Busted Knuckles. Reckless Red going up against Warlord. Bull Tilt going up against Sassy Child. Rambunctious going up against Snow Problem. And we'll be ending off round 1 of racing with Cottonmouth going up against Loud Pedal. Now first race of the night. Sunoco going up against Rat Trap 3, our 2005 and 2004 racing champions. Rat Trap nosing over hard going over that starting jump. But Rat Trap does have the lead here going around that first turn. Sunoco closed it up pretty good though. Coming around here for the final turn, Rat Trap has the lead. And it's going to be Rat Trap moving on into round number 2 as Sunoco gets into trouble. Up and over goes Kinsley Parks and Sunoco. We'll have to see if they can get that truck fixed in time for Freestyle. A lot of damage to it. But next up, another battle of the champions. This time Freestyle champion against Freestyle champion. B4 breaks car parts against Busted Knuckles into the first turn. B4 going very wide. Busted Knuckles keeping it tight. An advantage to Busted Knuckles. About 2 truck advantage at the halfway point. Coming around this final turn. Both trucks go a little wide, but it's all Busted Knuckles. Moving on to the next round. B4 Breaks car parts could not keep up there. Now we have Reckless Red going up against Warlord. And away they go. Good start from both trucks. Warlord, not normally a truck we see be too competitive here, but keeping up with Reckless Red. Only about a truck length back. We could see an upset here. Coming to the final turn. It's going to be Reckless Red picking up the win, however. But a good race there from Axel Weber and Warlord. Next up we have Bull Tilt and Sassy Child pulling up to the line, waiting on that green. Bull Tilt, great job on the light there. Into the turn, Sassy Child going wide, Bull Tilt keeping it tight. But Sassy Child got to run out of that turn, has the lead now. Final turn. Sassy Child goes wide again and gets that run out of that turn once again to get the win and go into round number 2. Next up, Rambunctious going up against Snow Problem. Light goes green. Good start from both trucks. Rambunctious already got a pretty decent lead just off the start. The Snow Problem drops farther and farther back here. Coming around the final turn, Rambunctious goes wide, but it's not going to matter. Rambunctious with the easy win into round number 2. Snow Problem giving everyone a little bit of a show with that little slap wheelie there. And now our last race of round number 1, Cottonmouth going up against Loud Pedal. Going into the first turn here, Cottonmouth with a sizable lead. Halfway point, that lead's only growing. Final turn here. Loud Pedal trying to close up the gap, but not enough. Way too late in the run for that. Cottonmouth will be moving on into round number 2 of racing here. And now we take a look at the bracket for round number 2. It'll be Rat Trap 3 going up against Busted Knuckles. Reckless Red going up against Sassy Child, and then Rambunctious going up against Cottonmouth. And of course, with only 6 trucks in this round, we will be taking a fast loser into the next round. First race of round number 2. Here we go. Rat Trap 3 and Busted Knuckles on the line, and away they go. Busted Knuckles pulling the wheels a little bit. Rat Trap 3's already got a sizable lead here. Busted Knuckles trying to close that gap up. Only about a truck length here, though. Final turn. Oh, issues for Busted Knuckles in the last turn. Close that gap up good, but it'll be Rat Trap moving on into round number 3. Next up, we have Reckless Red and Sassy Child on the line waiting for that green. Good start from both trucks there. Into the first turn, both trucks keeping it pretty tight. But it's going to be Reckless Red with about half a truck length lead here going into the final turn. Great turn from Sassy Child. At the line, however, it's going to be Reckless Red picking up the win. Going into the next round. And now for the last race of round number 3, Rambunctious going up against Cottonmouth. Lonnie Hall and Rambunctious very familiar with this truck. He was driving Cottonmouth up until last year when he got the opportunity to drive this Rambunctious truck. And we are in a dead heat at the halfway point here. Going into the final turn here. It's anyone's race still. Cottonmouth with an amazing turn, but at the line it's going to be Rambunctious just barely edging out Cottonmouth to pick up the win going into the semifinals. But it's not really going to matter much. We see our bracket here. Rat Trap 3 going up against Cottonmouth, our fast loser. And then Reckless Red going up against Rambunctious. Now for our first race of the semifinals, Battle of the Teammates, Rat Trap 3 going up against Cottonmouth. Both these guys, very fast drivers. At one point in time, these were also the 2 fastest trucks on the circuit. Everyone else has started to catch up to them. Here we go, around the last turn. Pretty even, but it looks like Rat Trap has the better run. It'll be Rat Trap going on into the finals over his teammate Cottonmouth. Now for our last race in the semifinals, Reckless Red going up against Rambunctious. Good start from both trucks. Into the first turn, maybe a slight advantage for Rambunctious. Getting close to those turning poles, however. Reckless Red having issues over the jump. Rambunctious opening up the lead here going into the final turn. And it's going to be all Rambunctious going into the finals. No! Rambunctious got a penalty. They say he hit the pole. It'll be Reckless Red going into the finals instead. So our final matchup, Rat Trap 3 and Reckless Red. Both these drivers hungry for a win. Been a while since either of them have gotten a racing win. As we get going here in the final round into the first turn. Pretty even so far from both trucks. Rat Trap a little faster in the turn. It looks like Rat Trap has the advantage here. Reckless Red, really nice jump into the final turn. Reckless Red, another amazing turn at the line. It's going to be Reckless Red just barely beating out Rat Trap at the line. Opal Baxter picking up another racing win here. As now we take a look at our freestyle order, we'll be starting off with Loud Pedal. Then we'll go into Snow Problem, Warlord, Cottonmouth, Bolt Hill, Sassy Child, Rat Trap 3, Rambunctious, Sunoco, and then we'll be ending off with our trio of freestyle champions before it breaks car parts, Busted Knuckles, and Reckless Red. Now first truck out for freestyle, Harper Ray bringing out that chop top Merc known as Loud Pedal. Starting off going for a slap wheelie here. Puts it down pretty quick, goes after the backside of the blue lane, gets some good air off of it. Coming around looking for that next hit. After that van stack, going for a slap wheelie again, puts it on the bumper. And then walks a wheelie over the elevated box van. Got tripped up by it a little bit. Could have got into some trouble there. And now launches it off the red lane. Completely clears that van that was put on top of it. Huge air there for Harper. Now going into some donuts here. Just a couple of quick rotations. And then back to the blue lane. Went for another slap wheel. He didn't quite get the rebound he wanted, I don't think. Truck bounced up, but the back wheels left the ground, and he can't put the power down if the wheels aren't touching the ground. Another good couple of moves here from him. Harper keeping the momentum up in this run. Back to that van stack. More good air off of it. And another good slap wheel. He touches the bumper and puts it down. Got close to the wall there. And now he's going to cross thread that box van and gets tripped up by it hard onto the front end. Starts us off with a 25 though. Good score to start. Definitely sets the bar pretty high. Now we have Joe Montgomery bringing out No Problem. Starting us off with a hit on the tough truck obstacle. Now going after that van stack. I think he wanted to go for a slap wheelie there, just didn't get the landing he wanted. Lining up for that next hit, going after the red lane. Touches the van on the way down and puts it on the tailgate of that brand new body on this truck. Beautiful looking Ford F-150. Now he's going to be the first one going after that elevated van stack. And he hits it perfectly up one side and lands it on the down ramp on the other side. Lining up here on those cars, trying for another slap wheelie, and he's going to get that one. Very unorthodox how he got it, but he did get it, and I think that's what the judges are going to care about the most. Last 25 seconds of the run here. Good sky wheelie off the blue lane. Catches that car and puts him down hard into a slap wheelie. He just walks it across the floor on the bumper. Beautiful move there. I'm sure that wasn't on purpose, but we'll pretend that it was. Coming down the last couple of seconds here. He might get one more hit in. Looks like he's going back to that elevated van stack for the biggest air of his run so far. And another slap wheelie. And it looks like he's going to end it there. It's going to be a 20 for Joe Montgomery, and it's no problem. Third truck out, Axel Weber and Warlord put on a hell of a race against Opal Baxter in round one. Just not quite enough to beat her. So we'll see what he can do here at our very first show here in Detroit. Axel, of course, Michigan native. We pretty much only ever see him at these Michigan shows. So I'm sure he wants to put on a good performance here for his hometown fans. Launches it over the red lane. Lands it hard on the rear end. Truck stays together. Lining up for that next hit. Going for the elevated van stack. Gets some good air off of it. Lands it right at the base. Not really where you want to land it. Now looks like he's going to go... No, he's not going for donuts. He's going back to that elevated box van stack. Got some more good air off it, and now broadsides that van. That van did not budge, but a good move there from Axel. Now we get donuts in the last 30 seconds of the run here. Again, just a couple of rotations, then on to the next move. Looks like he's going to go after that van on the red lane here. Dead vertical. Beautiful landing on top of the van. Knocks it over. Great move from Axel Weber and Warlord. And surprisingly, the tailgate's still intact on that truck. Last move here goes for a slap wheelie. And unfortunately didn't get the bite out of it he needed for the slap wheelie. But a great run from Axel Weber. That's probably the best run we've seen out of him here. So he goes into donuts here. And it looks like it's going to be a 21 from the judges. Probably not the score he wanted, but a good score nonetheless. So now we have Zach Preston bringing out Cottonmouth. Starting us off. Very timid sky wheelie over the blue lane. Zach known more for racing than freestyle, but he does occasionally have a good moment here and there. Looks like he's going to go after the red lane here over that freshly moved van. Gets some huge air off of it, lands it hard on the right rear. Gotta be careful doing that. That's how you break a 4-link. And now we get some cyclones out of Cottonmouth here. Again, just another couple of rotations. No one really wanted to commit to a big donut. Cottonmouth lining up for the red lane once again. Bigger air this time, lands it hard on the right rear again, and breaks a 4-link that time. And looks like he's going to try to keep going. Goes after the van stack, and looks like he's going to get shut off there. It's only going to be a 19 for Zach Preston and Cottonmouth. So now we have Ed Jenkins bringing out Bull Tilt. Looks like he's going to line up for those 2 cars. Go for a slap wheelie here. Blows the smoke and drags the bumper across the floor. All the way across the floor. Beautiful move there. Line up next for that blue lane. Gets some good air over it. Thought about going for that slap wheelie. The truck was set up perfect for it. Just decided not to chase it. And some good air off that tough truck roller. Going after the elevated van stack here. Huge air off of it. Biggest air so far. Now he's going to go into donuts. Blowing the smoke out the nose. Another short donut. Good air off that box van. Last 30 seconds of the run here. Great run so far here from Ed. And now more good air off that van. Coming down last couple of seconds. Got to get another hit or two in here. Launches it over that red lane. Little hard on the right side. Not as bad as Cottonmouth, though. As time expires. Trying to go for donuts. And he's going to get him, but I think it's a little too late for the judges to count it. Ed giving us our first good set of donuts here, and he's going to get a 23 from the judges, so that's good enough to take second place away from Warlord. As now we have Adam Bell bringing out Sassy Child. Beautiful new Chevy Silverado body on this truck. Starting us off. Pretty decent sky wheelie, about what we saw at a Cottonmouth. Going for another slap wheelie here off the van. Gets a pretty decent one. Not a bumper dragger like we've been seeing out of almost everyone. But a solid slap wheelie going after that van. Gets a little slap wheelie off of it. Adam, once again, another one of those guys known more for racing. So a track set up like this, definitely a little intimidating for him. Gets a good hit on the box van. Wasting a lot of time here just driving around. There we go. Much better sky wheelie off the blue lane that time. Now going back to the elevated van stack. Gets some great air off of that. A little bit of a hard landing, but good slap wheelie out of it. I think he was only on one wheel there. Last 10 seconds of the run. Back to the elevated box van. Gets another slap wheelie off of it. Up and over he goes off the elevated van stack. A lot of elevated obstacles here. He's going to tie for the lead with a 25, so good run there from Adam. Now next up, Randall Boone bringing out Rat Trap 3. It looks like he's going to start us off with some donuts here. Going to go right for the Cyclones. Is he going to keep it on all four? Has he finally learned how to do that? It looks like he has. absolutely monstrous cyclones to start us off here. And now he's got to figure out which way he's going. Launches on the backside of the red lane. So far, very good start here for Randall. No one's come out just done cyclones. And now he walks it across the track on the bumper. Looking for that next hit. Gets some pretty good air off the blue lane there. Tries for a slap wheelie. Got a little bit of one. Now going for the box fan. Gets some good air off of it. Everyone's kind of just treating that box fan itself as a ramp instead of the whole obstacle. It's an interesting take on it. But I think they saw what happened to Loud Peddler, trying not to get tripped up by it. As we come down the last 15 seconds of this run. Little bit of a lull here. Huge air off the red lane. Looks like that truck might be overheating a little bit. Oh, gets into some trouble there. Good save at the end of the run from Randall Boone. He's going to keep on going here. And looks like he's going to park it here. It's going to be a 26 for Randall Boone and Rat Trap. Good enough to take the lead. As now we have Lonnie Hall bringing out Rambunctious. Lonnie not going to be happy after going out and racing due to a penalty. Starting us off, good slap wheelie off the red lane. And some pretty decent air off the elevated van sack. A little bit of a slap wheelie out of it too. Then some pretty good air off those two freestanding cars. And then great sky wheelie off the back of the blue lane. Lonnie, pretty decent momentum so far. And now he puts it on the tailgate. I was just getting ready to say he's got a lot of hits, but nothing too spectacular. And another truck using that box fan as a ramp. And broadsides the van up on two wheels. Bicycles across the floor and brings it back down. An amazing save there from Lonnie Hall and Rambunctious. 20 seconds left in the run. Launches it off the van the other way now. Oh, he gets tripped up by the box fan going over it the other way. Now 10 seconds left into the run. He's going into some cyclones here. Wild once he's up and over. Just a couple seconds left on the clock. And he gets a 27 from the judges. So that is your new leader now. And it looks like they got Kinsley Parks and Sunoco back together. You can see quite a bit of damage to that truck. Front clip still off of it. They got a spare wheel on the right front. But she's out here, and that's the important part. Good start to the run so far. Going for another slap wheelie here. Not quite gonna fully get one up. Back to the red lane again. Good air. Hard landing on the right rear. That's how we saw Cottonmouth break. And it looks like she kept it together. Truck doesn't quite look like it's at 100% here. Looks like she's got some handling issues, which to be expected. Huge sky wheelie off the red lane. Again, that probably should have broke something in the back of the truck. That's 30 seconds of the run here. It's a good run from Kinsley. But compared to what we've seen, I don't think this is enough to take the lead so far. Good air over the van stack. Last 10 seconds. Definitely need to see something out of her. She's going to cross thread the box fan up and over she goes. Almost backflipped the truck. And it looks like she broke the front end again. It's going to be a 24 for Kinsley Parks and Sunoco. As next up, Mark Moody bringing out Before It Breaks car parts. first of our freestyle champions. Starts us off great sky wheelie on the blue lane. Looking for that next hit. Tried for a slap wheelie there off the van stack, I think, but it kicked him weird in the air. And speaking of getting kicked weird in the air, back tires clipped the van on the red lane there. Gave him much more vertical of a wheelie than I think you wanted. Oh, into trouble, slams it hard on the front end. Breaks a lot of stuff, but he's going to keep on going. Broke 4-link. I think I saw broken shock, broken sway bar. This truck is destroyed, and Mark Moody's just going for it. Back to that red van. Hard landing, breaks even more stuff. I think a 4-link came off. I think there's another broken 4-link. That front end might only be held in by like 2 4-links at this point in the drive shaft. Last 30 seconds of the run here. That truck's driving terrible. Getting some good air off the van. You can see that front end just moving all over the place as he gets into trouble here. Oh, something locked up in that front end there. Up and over he goes. It'll be a 26 for Mark Moody and Before It Breaks Car Parts. Wild run just because of how much damage that truck sustained. So now we have Christian Holt and Busted Knuckles up next. Second to last truck. Good air off that van stack. With how beat down it is, you wouldn't think it'd be kicking people that high, but it really is. Just one of those weird times when an obstacle gets better the more it's beat down, as he launches it off the red lane. Monstrous air there. Now broadside's what's left of that blue van. Lining up, going back to the red lane once again. Another great hit on it. Looks like he's going to go after that box van. Attacks the obstacle. Lands it hard on the front end, but the truck stays together and combos it up with that blue van. 25 seconds left in the run. Great air off the blue lane. It's been a while, it feels like, since we've seen Christian Holt get this far into a freestyle run. Normally when he does, he's a threat for the win, and I can see this taking the lead here. Oh, up on 2 wheels just like Rambunctious. Another great bicycle save there as time expires. And now he cross-threads the box van a little bit. An amazing run out of Christian Holt here. He's still going. Backside of the blue lane again. Monstrous sky wheelie. Lands it hard on the back of the chassis. And he's going to get a 28 with 1 truck left. So Christian Holt could get his first freestyle win since, I believe, 2001. As now Opal Baxter comes out in Reckless Red. 2-time freestyle champion. Starts us off with a huge air off the red lane. Flips it around. Going after that blue van. Gets some good air off of it. Backside of the box van, gets some decent air. And then some pretty good air off those freestanding cars over there. Opal launches it off the back of the blue lane. She's getting a lot of hits in, which is good, but she needs some more wow factors. Coming around back to the blue van again. Oh, she stuffs the front end in the big van stack, and up and over she goes. She's done. It's only an 18, so Christian Holt in Busted Knuckles is your freestyle winner here in Detroit, followed up by Lonnie Hall and Rambunctious, and then Rat Trap and Before It Breaks Car Parts with a 26, Loud Pedal and Sassy Child with a 25, Sunoco with a 24, Bull Tilt with a 23, Warlord with a 21, Snow Problem with a 20, Cottonmouth with a 19, and Reckless Red with an 18. This was our first ever show here in Detroit at the brand new Ford Field. It was definitely a wild one. Quite a bit of crashes in racing and freestyle. But we hope you enjoyed this show, and we hope you'll check us out on Instagram to keep up to date with everything going on behind the scenes as well to participate in our upcoming fan vote. You get to help decide who gets the last spot for KORR Monsters Final 7. So be sure to head over. That'll be starting in the next week or two. As always, we hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you next week in Tampa, Florida. We'll see you then.